Hello there everybody, and today is another video, and it is another day of talking about the GeoGuessr Wildcard preparations. And the first week is done. I did quite a lot of grinding, as you can see from here, and to quickly summarise, there was a lot of recap sessions, place name recap, especially for the US. I did a lot of Australia car studying, I did a lot of Mexico related stuff, but it was more to do with the more meta side, so like the car colors, the area codes, not necessarily going purely on the guides. It's kind of just the get out clauses. I would say, just getting them out of the way beforehand, and then can focus on the more poll metas and all that kind of stuff later on as the weeks go through. But we did well, I did do some good recap sessions, like cow patterns were good. I think Russia was quite successful as well. Did a lot of Russia last week, especially with the area codes, the bus stops. All should be sorted, pretty much sorted. Just needs recap. I did do some further notes on Baratia, but I didn't really get much time to do the labelling this week, especially with the Australia stuff. But Baratia is almost done. And after Baratia, because last week I did a lot of East Russia stuff as well, like before I even got the invite, I was studying East Russia. So by the end of next week, hopefully, everything east of, let's say, Kurgan, maybe excluding one or two oblasts, should hopefully be done. And done to a good standard, whether it's just labeling or revised kind of at least half well. So yep, that's the gist of that. There's a couple of things mentioned here. I think Nigeria is the other big one, so I did a lot of Nigeria practice. I had a really good session with JWeb, and it's just studying, recapping notes. I also had a session with Moo with Europe Gen 4 stuff. That was really helpful, and like now with all them notes, it's just recapping them, regurgitating them, and applying them in game. So yeah, quite a good week. Got quite a lot of things done, but there were some things I didn't quite get done. Like I didn't really have a slot where I can just lock in and just do practice my Cyrillic reading. I definitely need to fill that in next week, I feel like, and if not, has to be the third week. I can't afford to leave it towards the last minute because it's one of those things I'm going to be regularly doing anyway in preparation. So yeah, that is one thing I didn't really get done. Like I say, the Russia was good, but I wanted to get some more practice in. US, I didn't really have any sessions in the US this week, sadly, just because of it just didn't pan out because of certain things that were out of my control, which is obviously totally fine. And like I say, I did do a lot of things this week anyway, last week, sorry, anyway, which definitely will help, hopefully, in preparation. But let's go back to the training notes. So, pretty much situation is all that's labeled in red needs a significant amount of work or needs a really, really good recap. So it's either stuff that I'm really weak at or it's stuff that I should be strong at but I haven't touched for a while and it needs polishing. So, like I said, the most important ones is Russia, US, Mexico, Indonesia, and India, I would say, for me at least, because they're the countries that let me down the most. Whether it's I don't know much about it compared to others, or I do know a fair bit, but there's that much information out there that it's a very big weak point. So yeah, Russia and US especially are just musts. I need to do sessions quite often. But I did do a lot of Russia last week. I labelled it orange, but there's still a long way to go with Russia. US, like I say, needs a lot of work. Mexico will happen in the coming weeks, hopefully. Same with Indonesia, and hopefully India will get going from this week, actually. So fingers crossed I can get some things sorted and learn new things for India in the coming days. And shout out Gasser for offering to help me out with that as well. So yeah, so that should be good. And then for the other section, these are countries I feel like I could be definitely stronger at, and I used to be quite strong at. So like Brazil, I used to be quite strong at Brazil back in the day, but I feel like I've kind of lost track of things and I feel like I've fallen behind a bit too much with the Brazil stuff. So I do want to have some recap and some good sessions as well, hopefully. Argentina, I was in contact with a couple lads beforehand, or I think it was just one lad actually, but I think two of them wanted to play at the same time. But Argentina definitely needs work. The car meta recap, knowing where the 24 car coverage is and stuff like that, knowing the new stuff in case it comes up. And of course, I want to just get better vibes. I want to get the Patagonia Road sorted at some point because that seems quite public, and I reckon quite a few of the people who I'm competing against will probably be studying that. So I do need to have a look at that at some point. Australia did a fair bit this week, but honestly, Australia, get these car matters sorted. Maybe have a good session with someone. A good session. Pick up a few new things that helps identify states easier. Um, and other than that, I don't know what much else I can do with Australia, to be honest, besides coverage learn. And yeah, that's all I can do. Excuse me. Colombia, like I say, hopefully I'll get a session in this week with Max. Fingers crossed. He replied to me very recently, and he'll be up for it, which would be nice. So fingers crossed we can get some Colombia stuff sorted. Like I said, I do know a fair bit for Colombia already, like the regional names. I do know some plates and stickers, even some of the stuff that's not even on the guides from Habib. I know, and but it does need work. There is, especially the very remote rounds, and get used to landscapes and vegetation. That's stuff I need to work on the most with Colombia, and recapping the lamps as well is very important. I keep forgetting the lamp meta. Ukraine, I used to be quite strong at back in the day, nowhere near Radu's level. I think if I ever face Radu in the wild card, Ukraine will definitely be a survival round, of course. So I want to recap Ukraine, recap a few things. I mean, Radu taught me as well back in the day, so a few things. So I need to get back to that and recap some of the essential stuff, and maybe pick up on some new things. Because back like a year ago, I wasn't as experienced on mapmaker. I wasn't as experienced with being efficient with coverage learning. So hopefully Ukraine, I can pick up the pace again. Chile, I think, like I say, it's mostly south of Chile. When anyone comes back after the regionals, I'll contact him. So that's quite a while away. North of Chile is difficult, but I know a thing or two already. New Zealand, same situation with Amon. But like I say, it's just recap sessions, and obviously if anybody else wants to help out in any of these countries, just let me know. Like I said, the stuff in red is the things I worry about the most. The things in orange just need a bit more tweaking, and maybe the odd session or two. Even though Russia definitely needs plenty of sessions, but I'm doing a lot of solo work. But it'd be good to see where I'm at and maybe get some advice from one of the experts. That would be quite nice if they've got time. Obviously, when it comes to people who help me out, I don't expect people to say yes. I don't expect people to help me out. It'll just be an absolute bonus, and it'll be very helpful. But obviously, I'm showing that I'm putting the grind in my own time anyway. It'll just be a cherry on top, I would say, and might help with efficiency with learning things. So yeah, like I said, any help is highly appreciated if you're watching this video. In terms of other things, we can ignore this stuff. So information-based stuff, I think, is quite in a good it's in a good position. So like character patterns is pretty much nailed. Just need to recap. Kanji in terms of hexagonal signs, I'm good at now. Just finding the prefecture kanji symbol and the city symbol or with text can be quite difficult. So getting used to trying to find that or know where to look for it would be a good thing to sort out. Spanish road signs, like I say, I know I've been studying all the regions in Spain, so usually most of them follow similar starting letters, but there are some dates, there are some that don't follow the pattern, so that does need a good recap. USA state shields, I did a fair bit. That's pretty much sorted. Maybe just make sure I don't do anything stupid. Scanning obviously needs to be better, but in terms of identify state shields, it's not much of a problem. Thailand, that's something for the future. Sweden, that's something for the future. Cyrillic, like I said before, hopefully get a lot done this week with that. Philippines, province, prefectures, sorry, pretty much nailed. I think one or two recap sessions and it's very bright green, to be honest. I just memorized the Philippines ones really well, so I don't really need much practice with them. Kenya, similar situation with Nigeria as well. Just like, I know them, just need odd recaps because in the moment you might just freeze, you might panic, but if you instinctively know where it is straight away, then that will help you. That will prevent you from putting yourself into that pressurized situation. So, yep, Malaysia road system letters probably be a quick fix, but it seems quite necessary for pinpointing Malaysia. Australia place names I did a fair bit. Road letters I do need to study though, so technically I'll probably need to put this in orange actually, not white, yellow, sorry. Baltic Space ID, I think that's just within the Europe difficulty stuff. So as a Europe hard IDMP countries, I didn't do much last week, but like I say, with Spain, it'd be good to region guess Spain's, maybe some Italy stuff, and if there's any France stuff, that'd be amazing. But I don't think there's much. But Germany's definitely got stuff, and Poland, obviously the area codes. But yeah, I mean, also with the hard Europe idea, I want to identify hard round situations, which is kind of why I did the Gen 4 session with Moo. So I can rule things out quite quickly. Like I never knew a certain country had 21, for example, didn't have 21, for example. So like there's stuff like that. There's also seasonal stuff, like quite niche, and obviously you need to be careful. But it was mostly stuff before 2024. That was the session. Was most or most of the coverage was 20 before 24. So yep. In terms of area codes, I didn't really do much this week. I did do. Actually, I did. I'm lying. I did do a lot of Russia area code practice, which went pretty well, and it was all 3 digits as well. I just went straight in, and it went quite well. So that just needs polishing. I'm just recapping now and then now, so it's pretty much in a good situation. Mexico, I got started, but does need some good recap sessions, and I want to learn some unique examples from it as well that I can take away from. But like I say, there's only so much I can do with that. I think just a general pattern would be good enough for Mexico, but if I can take a couple more additional things with it, that'd be perfect. But yeah, a lot of Europe area codes need to be sorted. Same with the Americas, like Brazil next week. It's gonna have a good recap session with the central, the postal codes as well. I did do quite a bit of Mexico postal codes. Doesn't need recap though, um, but it's in a good position. I kind of don't think it will need much because generally can identify the province without the area code. But in some scenarios, it might be a get out clause. USA, I did learn some, but I really do need that session with Blue. And South Africa, area codes I think are also important, which I'll get covered in the later weeks. Same with Thailand, with the area codes. Japan, it's probably a quick fix. I don't know how well I can do it in detail, but I think getting some prefetches correct because of it will be very nice. Postal codes in Malaysia Street sounds to be good. Sri Lanka area codes if they come up can save me points, but it's not as essential. And Indonesia basic area code patterns and other patterns that involve numbers would be nice. Obviously Australia area codes won't take long. New Zealand area codes won't take long either. And then of course I've also mentioned about suffixes and languages. I haven't really done much with that. I think I still should put like a West Europe, like the Spanish, the Italian, the Catalan, the Basque, stuff like that where I regularly mess up. Definitely needs sorting out. And I did do a session with Wolf ages ago, but it does need a good recap. But I think quite a lot of this I can't do until Wolf's back, and that's if Wolf is happy to help out. He might be busy, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's a summary of week 1. Week 2, what is the plan? The plan is to have, I've got quite a few study sessions ahead of me to do. So there's quite a lot to do with study sessions. With Russia, I'll be studying more of the East, but working West. So I'm going to finish off Baratia and get strong with Baratia practice, and just recap all the stuff east of it as well, and start labeling stuff like the roads in Kurgan, the roads in Altai Krai, and roads in Yekaterinburg or Sverdlovsk, however you want to pronounce it, Jeff. I think that's something I want to get done this week with Russia. There's other stuff like polishing Nigeria, getting that out the way, having a good recap session of Mongolia and Kazakhstan. And of course, I was talking about before about the one-to-one sessions, especially with the US, is very important. I feel like for me, especially with an expert, that'd be really, really helpful. I'm already in contact with a lad with that, and I'm in contact with a couple of lads who I'm sure are in close contact. That I can contact as well if I'm struggling. And it's always good to play games with other experts because it's good to it's good to exchange different things. Not everybody knows the same things. So, yeah, US does need a lot of work next week, but I think Russia's still a priority. Brazil, I'll be doing a good recap session. Japan, I'll be doing a good recap. Brazil, Japan, I'll just recap and applying a couple of new things. Canada, it's not really a major thing, but like Argentina, I think that's not really a this week thing, but maybe a next week thing, depending on the situation. Like I say, if something comes up, then I might do some Argentina practice this week, but I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, a fair bit to do, But I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next week. But yeah, thank you all for your patience with this video. It's quite a lot to go through, and like I say, I'm trying my ass off, and I hope that this effort, means something, and hopefully it'll motivate some of you guys one day to, grind for, the wild card or the World Cup in the future. But yep, I'm really taking this seriously, guys, and like I say, I'm making sacrifices with this, so I hope you understand, you know, all of this, and why I'm doing this. But I really want to do the best I can in the moment, and if it pays off, it pays off. If it doesn't, it is what it is. Like I don't want to live. I don't want to have any regrets. I want to do my best, and like I say, productivity is key. I need to have rest as well. My sleep schedule needs to get better as the weeks progress. But like I say, it's been a good first week. Some things didn't get done, but that's what I expected anyway. But this week, hopefully, we'll be even more productive and can get a lot done, because I feel like once it gets past week 5, any new stuff, like any intense new learning, that's finished. Week 6, week 7, there's only like 2 full weeks before the tourney week. The tourney week is pretty much it. I'm not going to try and force learn new things on the tourney week. So that'll be just pure recapping things. So really, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5 are super important, with studying. Anything past that, it's over. The studying is pretty much finished. It's just then recap. So, amongst a couple of things, that is pretty much recap as well by practicing games. But yep, I will be doing duels practice privately. There might be videos in the future where I've released some duels format, practice, playing against Amon, and potentially after the regionals conclude, that might be a possibility in the future. Because we already recorded, but that might be out in the future, well after the regionals conclude. And you never know. Other people might be doing a series with the duels format. I don't know, but I'll see how I feel about that. I mean, I don't mind hopping onto someone's channel, but I also kind of don't want too much publicity. So I kind of just want to just do the best I can and not have too much distractions. Because this is really important for me, and I really want to give it my best shot for to not have any regrets, and also to you know make people prove people wrong first of all, and also just do something for the UK. Do something for the UK. UK needs a representative, in my opinion, and hopefully I can be that person. But you never know. There's so many good players like Radu, Harmless. Literally every single player on the list could win it. But we'll see. We'll see how it turns out. But thank you everyone for just chilling in, listening in. Like I say, it's not really the most engaging video in the world, but it's just an update with how things are going. Also, if you want to keep up to it daily, I have an Instagram now, so check out my Instagram. Follow my Instagram. Those are quick daily updates, so you get more of an idea of what I'm doing each day. And I also do some quick content with fast-paced games a day, just for the fun of it. But yeah, thank you everyone for watching, and I appreciate all the support and all the help. But yeah, like I say, hopefully this week is productive, and I'll see you in the next video. Yeah, of course.